Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, so my rubber stamp finally came off the block. Which is kind of sad, but it creates opportunity for more creativity. In this case, lemonade, lemons, all that. I could still use it, obviously, or I could remount it if I want to. I'm not going to because I am going to use the wood block. I can do it on both sides. I might actually do it on both sides. We'll see. So all I've done is sanded off the sticky part with my sanding block. If you just have a piece of sandpaper, that'll work too. Doesn't matter. You get these at the dollar store. You get a couple of them in a pack for a couple of bucks. It's not bad. They last forever. I use them for jewelry. I'll use them for paper. I use it for wood. It's multi-purpose. I just took one of my little finishing nails. I always have a jar of nails in my studio because you never know when you need one. My walls look like Swiss cheese basically at this point, so yeah. I have lots of holes, let's put it that way. So anyway, I just put a nail in here. What I like about this is because it's thick enough it can stand up on its own, right? So now, with a nail in it, I can hang something off of it, right? Right. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of us have thought about this on more than one occasion, at one time or another. I'm sure this is not a new idea. I probably saw it somewhere on Pinterest or somewhere in YouTube land and, decided to do that with this piece of wood that I had left over. So I could take everything off and paint the whole thing, but in this case, I think I want to leave it as is because I like the natural wood, even with the glue stain on there and everything. So I'm going to leave it like this. At a later date, if I want to put ribbon around it or even make it double-sided, I could put another one here, another nail. I could paint this if I wanted to, sand it, whatever, right? So, also, in my stash, we'll set this aside for now. In my stash, I had this paper pack. Oh, I bought it a long time ago. I don't even remember. I think it was at Buck or Two. It's like a dollar store, but it's not. It's one of the earlier iterations of a dollar store here in Canada. But anyway, I got this paper pack, but it's cardboard. Like it's basically oak tag or, it's cardboard. It's quite thick. It's not cardstock. But I had all these left over. Well, not left over. I had the whole pack ripped apart. I had a bunch of, they look like giant stamps. But I'm going to use them as substrates. I am not going to use it for what it was intended for because now I have more supplies that I can play with. So that's what I'm doing. So it came with road signs and stop signs and all kinds of other things, and then came with months and days of the week, and I don't know. What I like about it, it's white on one side, so I don't have to do anything on the other side if I don't want to. I don't have to prime this if I don't want to. I can just leave it as is and have some of the background shown because they do have some interesting backgrounds in some of them. So you can use it as a substrate, which is perfect for this project. So what I've done is I have taken my old, oh, my poor sad old book. In the last video, I showed that this is crumbling and falling apart. And I was, yeah, see, it's literally falling apart. So I have a big mess. Just don't breathe in too deep and I'll be fine. And what I've done is basically decoupaged these onto these because they're tags. I could put a metal grommet in there if I want to. I don't know if I have anything that big. I might just leave it and put some ribbon on it or something later. But anyway, all I do is decoupage. This literally falls apart. I mean, there's not much to it, right? It doesn't take much. So all you need to do is apply it with some decoupage or just some white glue or whatever you use. You could use gel medium too if that's what you have, but decoupage is fairly cheap, or Mod Podge rather, or even just, school glue, water down a little bit, whatever you have on hand. So I also have some music sheet that is very brittle, and that's what I've done is I've just basically covered up my substrates. What I like about it, now you can take the sanding block and just take it right off. Oops, maybe this side. Okay. You can ink the edges. I kind of like it because it's white in this case. I could paint it, of course. but no cutting required. Just, you know, just leave it like that. And the hole is just a question of taking your awl and poking the hole through, okay? And then just clearing it up so you have room for your ribbon. If you want to leave it closed, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. But if you're going to hang it, you need something to hang it off of. So that would come in handy, okay? So there's another one. I'll do the same to this. If you don't have a sanding block, you can use an emery board. This is a really old one. It takes a little bit longer because it's not as grainy as the sanding block. You can wrap the whole thing. You can make it double-sided if you want to. It's entirely up to you. I'm just showing it one side for now because, you know, kind of like it this way for now. And then if I decide to do the other side on some day when I'm kind of bored or I need something creative to do, then I can do so. There is no limitations, okay? So and then I have 2 more to play with, okay? And they dry fairly quickly because that paper just soaks it up because it's so old. But it's the best way I know of right now to use the old pages. And I love the color of it. It is so nice and that caramelly brown. You know what I mean? It's just really, really nice. So you can see it against the white. It's really very caramel color. So, done that. And then what I've done is taken this stamp and die set. I got it from AliExpress. I don't know who the original artist is for this. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments down below, and then I can give credit where credit's due. But with spring around the corner and Easter coming up, I thought these were so cute. I love this little bunny. He's the cutest little thing, and even the little lamb is quite adorable. So, these I find is a little bit too big and awkward to put onto this kind of tag. So this tag size, it's more for card size, right? So I am just going to do something a little bit different because I wanted to, I'm not making cards with this right now, so I'm doing something else. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's clear the deck here a little bit. It's all dusty and dirty. That's the only downfall with using the sanding sponge is that you get all this grit stuff all over your work surface, okay? So all I've done is stamped, colored, and die cut my little critters, okay? Let's get these out of the way too. We'll do those later. So now we have these 2 cute little things. And I decided that'll be my first 2 little tags to go on my wood block. I have no idea what to call this yet. It's just going to be like a tag stand maybe. I don't know. Tag stand out of wood block. Stamp block. Again, you can make it double-sided. It's entirely up to you. So, I don't know if you remember, but in one of my other videos, I made all these scrappy doodle papers and whatnot else. So I'm going to use some of this just to add a little bit of color on the tag. You could leave it just like this and it'd be very pretty, very primitive kind of looking, but I want to add a little bit more color, so I'm just going to see what's all in here, if anything. I could leave it. I have some sprayed paper. Ooh, that would look pretty. It's not as thin. You could do everything in book pages if you wanted to go for a whole theme. You know what? Let's go for a whole theme. Let's do it all book pages. Because those of us who do art journaling, or art journaling, junk journals. That's the word I'm looking for. Those of us who do junk journals, we tend to have a lot of book pages, okay? I'm just new to the junk journaling world, so I don't have as many, but I already find myself trying to look for excuses on what to make with book pages. So I'm just going to take my large stamp. You could do a punch. I'm going to use the large one because I wanted to sort of, oh, you'll see. Hang on. I'm just going to cut some of this off. And I like the softer color. It's more Easter color, right? So I'm just going to punch out a circle. and then you can sort of see for yourself, right? So if we put a little bit on there and then put the little bunny on there, see how that sort of works nicely? And it's all book pages, so it's very simple. You don't have to do in half. You could just do a sliver of it, just so that you have that little bit of extra color there. And you can do the same thing to the other side. Well, you could do the bigger one here and the smaller one there. Maybe we'll do that. Can you see this? Yeah, okay. Now, if you didn't want any extra color on there, obviously you don't have to. But it's kind of cute. You could do small circles if you wanted to, just a little extra there, which would work. But I'm going to start putting some of this down. So let's do one with and one without. The lamb is quite large, so I don't think we need to worry about it right now. Again, if you have a lot of papers, like, you know, scrap pieces of paper, you can come up with an infinite amount of combinations, and I'm sure they'd all look really cute. So yeah, just play around with it, see what works for you, see what combination sings to your heart, and then you can go from there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue. You could decoupage this, but I'm just going to glue it. You could stamp the background if you wanted to, but I really wanted the book pages to sort of have the moment in the sun kind of thing, you know. And I didn't really read what's on here, so if it offends anyone, I mean, it's talking about bullyrag. Ballyrag? I don't even know, but we're going to cover it up anyway, so it doesn't matter. You could ink the edges of these, of course, if you wanted, but I am not going to worry about it. Again, I want the background to sort of sing for me. And overlapping in collage is always pretty. And then this one, do I want something in the background of that? I don't even know. Like, do we want something like that? No, you can make it funky. You can do something really different. All right, I think we're going to do it on the other side. Yeah, I think so. I'm going to use it anyway. See, I change my mind on a regular basis, so nothing is ever the way I picture it in my head. It always ends up being a little bit different than I originally thought. But you can see how your scrap pieces of paper that you've doodled on can now become part of the focal point, right? And if all you had was a Easter egg stamp or something like that, you color that in, or just do your own. You could use washi tape as a background, or over top of this. That'd be kind of cute. You know, use up some of that washi tape we were all hoarding for some apocalyptic reason, and then, you know, it'll probably never get used in my lifetime, but I always keep buying more for some odd reason. So if you find that this kind of edging drives you crazy, we have a cure for that. Because we can always come in and use some distress ink. Anything and everything can be covered up, corrected, or whatever you need to do. Okay? You could use paint. I need new ink pads. But if you really wanted to make those edges more pronounced, you definitely could go all the way around. Just make it blend in a little bit more. And then, you know, it looks like it's more unified at that point, right? We all know the tricks by now. Okay. There we go. That's kind of cute. Make sure you don't get stamped. Oh, this paper ends up everywhere. It is so brittle. It's not even funny. Okay, so now we have two cute little Easter thingamajiggies. Okay, what are we going to do now? I have no idea. Do we want to put a word on there? We could. If you have a bunch of die cut words, or, you know, even something like this, you want to do something a little bit different. You could even put a bow on it. Let's see. I make a bunch of bows ahead of time. I have all this ribbon still in my drawer, so using it up is not a bad idea. So it depends on how bright you want it. You could just use a piece of, ooh, twine. Hold on. Yes. Ha. Look at that. So that'd be kind of cute on there, right? And you can put that on the top of the tag if you want it. All right, let's see how long this is. It's fairly long. I'm going to cut a bunch of that. We're going to sort of go au naturel. Let's see how far we can take it. Okay. Oops. You can make these as gifts, you know, if you have a lot of, or if you want to unmount all your wood block stamps and then use the wood blocks as substrates. Perfect, you know. Like if you're really strapped for space in your studio and you don't know what else to do, it's a good time to just sort of reevaluate what you have, and maybe you need to do something a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to try and see if this works. I don't know, it might be too short. I might have shortchanged myself. Hold on. It's a little tricky. Hold on. Oh, I just hate wasting it, you know? Oh, there we go. Well, that's not too bad. Kind of like that. It's chunky. There, I think we'll do the same with this one. I just don't want to cut off a little piece and then I have a little piece left over, and then I gotta store that, and ugh. Once you start on your scrap pile, you know, you always create more scraps. I was like, oh, it's so annoying. I just want to use the scraps and be rid of it. It's a never-ending story in the scrap room. There's a reason why we call it scraps, right? So, you know, scrapbooking, we try to use little bits and pieces here and there, but I don't think we'll ever be rid of it. I think I might do a series on how to use up your paper pad. I have started one video on how to use your paper pad, so I want to do some projects with that. Bear with me though, because, you know, it takes a while, right? And my phone doesn't stitch any of the videos together, so I sort of have to make ahead of time and then do all these things. Yeah, I don't have the software, let's put it that way. So I'm trying to do this as easy as I can so that, you know, you still get to see quality things that you want to make and still have fun, right? Okay, so now we have that. We could put a word on there if you wanted to, I don't know. Or we could even put a butterfly on there. Like, how cute would that be, right? Is it on scale? No, it's not in scale, but that's okay. I'm not concerned. Oops. You don't even have to do a butterfly. Let's say we could do a moth. Maybe not that. No. Like a little moth. If you wanted to keep it in the, you know, calmer family color kind of thing. Or we could even do a little flower. There we go. Hang on a second. So there's a couple of different sizes that I have. So I have the larger ones. I got these at Dollarama, and then just recently Dollarama just had the smaller ones. So I thought those were cute too. I think these would be a tad bit too big. I mean, it's a statement, but it's a little big. A little loud for my taste. We could do pink. We could do red. What other colors do I have? Oh yeah, I think I bought the orange, the cream, and this lovely plum color. Let's see. I might want it to pop a little bit and just do a little red one. I think we'll do that. Use old scissors to cut wire, or even a wire cutter, because you don't want to ruin your good stuff. I usually have a pair of old little wire snips, because this wire will just ruin your scissors if you're not careful. Okay, so one's going to get a flower and the other one's going to get a butterfly. Sure, why not? I can live with that. Okay. Now, if you wanted to do more to the background, you absolutely could. I tend to trim my butterflies. I just want to get rid of this little white bit here. Only because then you can see more of the butterfly, right? Sometimes when you go to the dollar store, you get kind of, you know, it's an offcut. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it, obviously, but it does need a little bit of TLC to make it a bit more presentable kind of thing. So it's kind of nice to just sort of trim that off. And I can't get in there. Okay, so all I do with my butterflies is I just sort of give them a little bit more body. And this is where I put the glue. You can use Tombow glue. You can use a hot glue gun. Or even a glue dot if you wanted to. But I'm going to use this. Okay. And just let it sort of sit there. And this flower, I don't know, this is, oh, it's glued down fairly well. Sometimes they fall apart on you, and it's like, what happened? Be generous, because it's a bit wonky in shape. And you can, because it's a paper flower, you can just sort of spread it out a little bit and make it a bit more noticeable. So there we go. How cute are those, right? Now, a word. Let's see. Do we want to put a word on there? We could. I do have some in hot pink. So if you wanted to do something like that, you totally could. Okay. Let's see. It's up to you. Whatever you felt like doing. And if that doesn't float your boat, then, you know, you could leave it as is. Again, you could do the other words, just typewritten words, whatever you feel like doing. You could use the stamp that belongs with this, and because it does have a die, you could just sort of, you know, cut it out and put it on there. But I just don't like the way how it is. You could just do the welcome spring, and then it wouldn't be too bad. You do it on a separate piece of paper and then put it on there. Let's see. It's not horrible. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. So there. How cute is that? If you wanted to stand out more, you could obviously ink in a darker color. If you didn't want to do the brown, you could do black. You could do some mark making in the back of it, but I think I'm going to leave it at this because I think this would be really cute, just plain and simple, using up some old book pages, even the ones that are crumbling and falling apart like mine is. And then, you know, you reuse what you have, and then you can hang your little tags off of it and display it. And if you have it on both sides, right? Obviously, you can display them both at the same time. This would be cute on a mantle in a child's bedroom. They can make their own if they wanted to. You know, they're kind of cute. You could do it seasonally. You can do it for whatever you like. You have it on your desk. Be really cute. You can decorate this even more. You could put some velvet ribbon around it. That'd be pretty. That would definitely look old school. Let's see. I don't know what I have. Let's see. So you could go really bright if you wanted to. You could do well, any thematic kind of thing that you want to do. These would make a great wedding gift, you know, with a photo of the bride and groom on it. I think that'd be really pretty. You could use lace. You could use rickrack. Where is my ribbon? I see some in here. Okay. I've taken a lot of them out of my jars because the jars were taking up too much space. So all I did was put them in Ziploc bags. And that's what I did. I think this one I was going to make into a choker at one time. But if you have these little hook and eye thingies, you can use these as a band around a journal, an art journal. That'd be really cute. You just sort of have to measure, make sure it's the right length. But, you know, that'd be cute to hold a journal closed. I don't think it'll go around this, but you'll get the idea, okay? So if you did this, oops, look at how pretty it is against the wood, right? I'd love this in a teal color. I wouldn't do it on the bottom because then otherwise it'll tip on you, okay? So I would just do it on the 3 edges. Or you could decoupage the whole thing first and then put it on there. That would be pretty cool. You know, especially if you already did the nails like I did, then decoupaging is probably your best friend. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little craft session. You know, reuse what we have kind of thing. And just using some old things that I had lying around and I wasn't sure what to do with. So it's kind of nice to be able to use up things that otherwise I would not have used. It would just sit there forever, and now I can use it as a substrate and make something that I do enjoy. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you try any of these, and I hope you have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!